folks, welcome back to another edition of Tim's RC Surgery. Tonight I hope to get this over here, the big Axial SCX6 fixed. If you have followed on a few videos ago, probably about 3 weeks ago now, you'll have seen that I blew the front diff. Not doing anything really out of the ordinary, just driving it about and big click out of it and pull the diff apart, and right enough it had done the teeth. I've been waiting about 3 weeks on parts coming for it, and they hadn't arrived, so I got in touch with a guy, Gareth Curtis. If you go onto his Facebook page, GCRC, he brings in, he would be the main UK dealer for Treal stuff, so he had said he was thinking about ordering in a set of Overdrive gears, and the second I seen he posted up he had them, I had to get them. So that's what I have here. I have a set of Treal Overdrive front diff gears, and I also ordered myself a few 0.2mm shims just in case I need to shim the diff. So that's what I plan to do tonight. It's been that long from I've stripped it. As usual, this place is an absolute mess. I've bits sitting everywhere, but I'm going to try and work my way through it and see if we can get this back together, and hopefully we'll get it out at the weekend and we'll see how it performs with Overdrive gears in it. So let's get this big yoke on the bench and see what we can do. It's a beast of a thing. I'm going to give this a bit of a wipe out, and hopefully I can remember how all this goes back together, because I say it was 3 weeks ago, and I'm not even sure how the Overdrive gears will work in this thing. It's a big heavy rig. I do have Overdrive gears in all my other crawlers, and they seem to work grand, and they help you with turning and going up inclines and stuff. I'll say this is big, heavy. I don't know what I'd like to say. I'm going to get those genuine Axial ones. If they're not in the shop at the minute, they should be there anytime soon. Well, that clearly goes that away, and Treal are nice enough. They give us cameras wobbling, just hit the camera. Nice enough to give us new bolts. I don't know whether I should thread lock them in or not. Little 2mm. I don't think I'll need to thread lock them in. It's not as if it's getting that much abuse. Or should I? It's metal on metal. Do you know what? I will. I'll give them a little dab. Sometimes a wee tip what I do is put a drop of thread lock onto something and just dab it in. Don't need much. Stops you putting too much on when you do it like that. And we'll not tighten them all up until we get all the screws in. Hey, did any of you see the Endurance 7R mountain trail that we done the other day? If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Go and have a look at my other videos, once you've watched this one, of course. It was epic. We about 8 of us took the crawlers to the third highest mountain that we have here in Northern Ireland, Sleeve Binnion, and it was pretty phenomenal, to be honest with you. Not all of us made it to the top. We had a few kids there, and it was you know what, it was tough. It was tough for me. I can still hardly move a few days on. So they made the call. Got about 3/4 of the way up. They've done fantastic, but made the call, rightly so in my opinion, not to go the whole way. And one of the guys had rear drive issue, and he had to turn back. But 3 of us made it up. We had an FTX Texan made it to the top. We had a Vanquish Phoenix made it to the top, and we also had my wife's Axial Gladiator that made it to the top. the Gladiator got about 6 feet from the top and the motor started to really overheat. It was starting to smoke, and I thought 6 feet away I'll just carry it the rest of the way up and let it cool down. So I had a sandwich, a cup of coffee, or a cup of tea actually, let it cool down, and it made it the whole way back down again. So no real dramas to report, other than I lost a wing mirror. Rory in the FTX, he broke one of the braces under the cover, and Gary with the Vanquish just had a bit of bodywork damage. What else happened? Oh, I think I've stripped maybe a servo horn, but to say we all made it back anyway. It was absolutely epic. So go and watch that video, guys, once you've watched this one. I have a few boxes with screws and a few shims and bits and pieces that they were shims that I was going to use out of the Techno Diff, but they weren't exactly right. Right, well, these gears must go, our bearings must go there and there, and our pinion, we have the bearing already in there, that will go in that away. And where's our output drive is what we need. Oh, it is on the shaft. This is here. Everything's heavy about this thing. So where is our bolt for this? The dab of thread lock. Pop that through there. That is that pinion in. And we shall test fit this in here. So we'll have a little bit of lash. So let's have a look at these little shims that I ordered and see if they will fit. I'm guessing we will go for 0.2 by 10 by 18 is the size that I have ordered. Let's see what happens here now. Well, there's still I mean, how tight do you want that? There's a little bit of play. I'll slap another one in just to see how it feels. Because if it's tight when it's new, it would probably wear in a bit. I imagine this will be too tight now. There's zero play. I mean, how tight do you go? Well, there's absolutely no lash in that whatsoever. I think that'll probably bed in. I'm going to leave that like that and try that. Get some nice clean grease. And we shall pack some around the gear. Get her smeared on there. A bit messy, but I don't think you can put too much grease on these. Lovely jubbly. So If that's on there, that should go that away. And as far as I can remember, we have 4 screws, long screws this way. You might hear a bit of a noise in the background. That's the fan going, because we've it's under 0 degrees C here tonight out in my surgery, and it's quite chilly, so I have a little electric fan heater just to try and heat things up. We're still running the stock servo in this at the minute. A lot of wee bits and pieces I want to upgrade, but we'll work our way through it. My plan is just to show you guys from standard, and we'll just as something breaks or something I want to change or something that you guys suggest to me to do, we'll just do it one bit at a time. We can't all be like, is it Joe from Axial Caged? I don't know, he's about $4,000 into his rig full of that Viviton stuff. But man, that's some rig. You guys watch him. That thing's a bit of a beast. Anyway, so the next thing you want to do after shimming the diffs, or what I want to do anyway, is clean and grease these bearings. I've already done it to one side, but I shall show you what I do. Just pop out the bearings, especially if you're going to be running in water. And if you watch any of my videos, you know I'm a fan of running these things in the water. As you can see, like, that's nearly locked solid. With a bit of fiddling I can get it to move. If it was a race rig, I would probably replace that bearing, but as it's only a crawler, it's fine. This outer one feels dead on, but give them a little clean out with some solvent, brake cleaner, whatever you have kicking about. But for what I'm doing, that's running pretty free. So we'll just slop a bit of oil, and with it being a metal shield, that oil will get right inside there. If you want to be fussy, flip it round, but it'll be dropping the other side, and I can feel that's worked into there lovely. But for a peace of mind for myself, seeing as I can't pop the seals out, I just get a drop of ordinary multi-purpose grease, and just run it round the outside. This will help stop any moisture getting inside, hopefully. Just get that slopped on there. Certainly can't do any harm, and there we have nice free bearings. All we need to do is pop that back in to the hub, just like that, and do the same. Well, that one's nice and free. I'll not even bother cleaning it out. A wee drop of oil, just smother the outside of it with grease, and again pop that back into the hub, and we can set this stuff out of the way. We'll use that again when I come to do the rear. Now, I think we're just ready to slide the shafts back in, and then we'll have a couple of screws top and bottom to hold this in, and they should just pop straight in there. and just do the same to the other side. Hopefully you guys can see. Again, pop the shaft in, turn it round till you feel it locate in. That'll pop right through there. Let's screw these right on in. We'll make sure everything's nice and free. And then I think we are ready for this guy here, your steering link. And you can nip that up a little, although it is in the plastic, so you don't want to go too mad. That's our steering connected up, and we'll get our 4-link suspension rods screwed in again too, with these screws here. And the big 6 is starting to come together again. And that is the front end, very nearly done. Wheel hex is back on with another one of these if I can find where I put it. There we go. We're sorted now. 2 screws, 2 hexes, and we'll go with the tiniest amount of thread lock. They can't really come out whenever the wheel is on anyway, but just to be sure. And the same on this side. Just pop that on there. Tiniest amount of thread lock. And that is us. And I think this is a nice touch with the cap to cover the wheel nut. Another thing I wanted to do, and you'll see here in just a moment, is make a set of foams, because these foams are just too squishy. There's no the sidewall's just far too soft, and it aids in this big unit rolling over, because the tire just folds. And a friend of mine, you'll have seen in a few of the videos, Johnny G, has given me a bit of high density foam to try and make something to stiffen these up, but it's been that long from I've been out, I just want to get this out for another rip. Right, that's one side done, and what we need to do now is stick this foam and wheel back together. But just before I do that, here's a sheet of this high density foam, which should be perfect for trying to sort out something with the sidewalls, but that'll be for another video, guys. As I say, really just want to get that out. So pity I can't remember what way round that goes. Although, given that this is only new, I think that the thread's the same on both sides, isn't it? It is. It's not going to really make a difference what way round that goes. So let's get these foams stuffed inside, get the wheel built up, get it on. We'll shim the back end, because it's always good to shim the back end, isn't it? There's no point in just shimming the front diff, not having looking at the rear end, because I really like a nice tight rear end. I mean, who doesn't like a nice tight rear end? Let's move that camera a bit so you can see what I'm doing. And we want to get our lock rings in, and when we screw that together, that's well, these are called big lock rims, so that is what will lock your rim together and hold your tyre on. And you don't want to just horse them all in the whole way around again like everything else. Go opposites and just screw them in a little bit at a time and work your way around the rim until you get them all in. I've had a real strong notion to build a proper comp rig, crawler rig, but I really don't know what to do. Maybe you guys have ideas what I should do, what I should build, what sort of chassis or frame, motors, axles. If you have any ideas, why not write something in the comments section and let me know. And if I get enough ideas together, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll build a Tim's RC surgery rig based on what you guys reckon I should run. I'm looking forward to this King Crawler competition this year. I'd like to try, I didn't come last year, but I'd like to actually try and see if I can, how well I can actually do. It was the first time I'd ever entered anything like that. It was a bit of fun, and I was enjoying actually filming and editing the videos, but I'd like to actually properly take part and see how well I can actually do. And maybe with your guys' help I can get a rig set up and actually be competitive this year. So stick a comment down below. What should I build? What electronics should I use? What sort of wheels? What sort of tyres? Axles, chassis, body? Let me know, and we'll put a list together, and I'll try and get all the bits organised, and we'll actually build a channel specific competition rig for this year's King Crawler competition. That's us all back together, ready to screw the wheel on. Oh, it's good to see this back in one piece, guys. I've really missed it. Although I really don't think it would have handled the well, it might have done. I don't know whether it would have handled the mountain trails. I certainly wouldn't have liked to have taken it up and had to carry it back. But we will get it out on one of the trails someday soon. Now let's get this back in, pulled apart. Let me just go and get my car driver. Speed things up a bit with the trusty Milwaukee. Bearings feel okay, but again, as I'm building it, I'll grease them up. Let's see what we have in here. That looks like some form of like million weight diff oil rather than grease. Right, let's see if we've got movement in this. Oh yes, look at that, look at that. Can you see that, folks? That is what we don't want. when you're driving and that gets under torque, that can move out to the end of the teeth, and that's what lets it rip the teeth. So I'll grab my shims. We'll start off with one 0.2mm shim, and if need be I'll add a second one in. I do not want these stripping a diff when we're out and about again. Oh, look at that goo. The teeth look to be in good shape anyway. And there's one of my shims, if you can see it. I'll just pop that on. Pop that on there. Slide the bearing back on, and that will move the ring gear 0.2mm over this way, hopefully tightening up the diff. And like, we still have movement, and to me that's too much movement. I'm going to put the second one in, so that will be shimmed 0.4mm. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's just like, I don't know what that looks like. Something that runs out of your nose. Again, the other shim has stuck onto the bearing. The other one is still on there. Slot this back in along with all the goo. And we still have a little bit of movement, but you know what, for all there is, I think that's perfect. I think we shall let that be. So guys, that was shimmed both front and rear 0.4mm is what it's taken to shim that diff up. Now all we need to do, get it screwed back together, get some batteries charged, which I'll do tomorrow, and I shall show you guys the 20% overdrive, because I haven't seen it yet myself, and then we'll get her out, all being well, onto the Treals, and we'll get her out for a rip. So guys, I just wanted to show you this. I marked this off with a bit of tape. That's the two wheels roughly marked in the same position, and if you watch when I rotate these, watch where the front one is and watch where the back one is. Again, the front has supposedly with the Treal gears 20% overdrive to the front. So we'll turn one revolution of the front and you can see the back lagging behind, and again another revolution and the back is nowhere near. So that's number 2. We'll see how many turns we have to do it to get it to catch up. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're not far away. I would say on the 7th. There we go, then it's past it again. So that's about 6 turns and the match up every time, so definitely overdriving the front. Right, all we have left to do is get these batteries charged and we'll get this thing outside, so I shall see you guys outside in just a moment.